It is 2022. Welcome back to the very online show, which is still the show in which two extremely online people, that's me and Lucy, explain to one sort of online person, thanks to our efforts in 2021, that's Jeff, what the hell is going on the bloody internet? Depending on your perspective, still, this is either one man's quest to rot his brain, or it's two people's desperate attempt to convince themselves that they're not suffering from internet-induced brain rot. We've been doing this for close to a year now, and we still have not got conclusive evidence if Lucy and I have brain rot. Lucy,
I don't know, man. I have a lot of brain fog, which I believe is internet. I genuinely believe is internet-induced. Yeah. So...
I mean, it's basically the same thing. Yeah.
It's the same thing at this point.
Lucy? You have prepared something.
I'm driving this week.
You are driving. You don't have a license in America, but you're driving. Illegal behavior.
Don't have a license in the UK either.
Really?
Boys. Right. No, I don't drive.
You just drive without one?
Yeah.
Like a badass?
No. Instead, I say things like, my boyfriend was like, oh, you need to learn how to drive. And I was like, I've been in loads of cars. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Apparently,
what could be so hard?
The DMV won't go for that. But, you know.
Yeah, I went to the...
That's their loss.
I attempted to go...
No one knows how to drive
Yeah,
here.
I was going to say...
No one knows how to drive.
The thing about driving here is, like many things in America, everyone outside of America sees the numerous problems with your driving structure. People within America do not see any problems and think it's completely normal to cross lanes and then turn, which is insane to me. I'm like, why are you doing this? That is, you have come up with the most dangerous driving set of rules. Like, the light is red, but if you're turning right, so you can still turn right. So anyone crossing the road, those cars are still a threat. Even though it says you can walk, that is some... stupid shit.
Well, okay. New York has a rule against that where you can't go right on red.
Oh, well, California is. Yeah.
Look, but everyone, and everyone's going to be like, oh, Bacalar, you idiot. People in New York and New Jersey can't drive. It's like, well, you're kind of wrong. I would argue we're the best drivers in the country. Have you been to Florida? Have you been to California? Go drive there. See what that's like.
Right. Well, this episode is not about driving.
I mean, I can go on driving.
I'm going. It's not about Tesla and Elon Musk
Thank God.
selling all those shares before all the massive recall. But I don't want to do an Elon Musk fucking episode. I don't want to do an Elon Musk episode.
See, the next episode is. No, I'm kidding.
I'm going to steer us.
Yeah. Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Gonna put
back
the
on track.
foot on the gas there.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
I'm stamping on the
Handbrake
brakes.
can.
Happy New Year, boys. I'm gonna start as we mean to go on by putting us all on blast. I want everyone to get their phone.
Oh, I love my phone.
And tell me your screen time.
Oh no.
Oh, I might not be able to do this for you because
Android.
You're an Android boy.
No, Android
boy.
definitely has a screen on. So, like, I'm going to give you mine, but I have to caveat it with saying I leave my screen on running Twitch.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, I did this yesterday while I was cooking. I had Lucy's stream on.
I did that on Monday while I was cooking. I was in your stream.
And if I'm at the gym, I like put my headphones in and open a Twitch stream, and I'll just leave it on. Because the new Twitch app does this thing where if you lock the screen, although it plays the audio, it now doubles the audio. So I don't need Hassan Piker twice in my ear at a delay.
Jeff, what was that face?
No.
I just saw you go... Ooh.
Well, no, I just, so this does have it.
Knew it.
And, I'm just looking back and I'm like, oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's bad.
Well, so the thing is that the iPhone one is broken. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
But it says that I have spent in the last day 24 hours on the Times and Sunday Times because I read an article via the Apple News. So that's not correct.
My average for last week was 9 hours and 42 minutes.
Wow.
That's based on... I mean, last week was a week when we were off. But
Sure. Whatever excuse works.
My current average on a normal week is 5 hours. Yeah.
Wow.
My daily average here, it says, is 5 hours, 21 minutes, which is 44% down from last week. And my highest used app is Twitch and Twitter.
Yeah, my Christmas week was 7 hours because that was a lot of Twitch and
7 hours.
There was a lot of Twitch and YouTube and podcasts.
That's a fourth of the. That's like a third, 3.5 times of that. Yeah,
that was Christmas week. But other than that, it's usually like 3.5. This week is thrown out of whack because I have 24 hours of the times. But on Monday, for example,
getting all that news.
Yeah, yesterday, 6th of January, 24 hours. Today, I'm already at 7 hours, and it is 8:57 a.m.
Do you want to know I can't do averages. Mine doesn't have averages. It just tells me what each day is, and just by eyeballing it, I'm averaging anywhere between like 1 hour and 50 minutes to about 2.5 with a max of like I did 3.5 hours on December 27th.
That's pretty good.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Like I said, I'm not very online.
Yeah, and that's the thing here, because I don't want to use the word resolution. Let's just say this is one of my 2022 goals.
1620 by 1080. Thank you.
Oh gosh. Boo this man.
Just I saw people were still doing that joke.
1620.
I don't know what that is. 18. I don't know resolutions.
1080?
2160.
I don't know. I saw people were doing that joke on Twitter, and I was like, "You are the most boring human in the world."
Oh my god,
you're the worst.
One of my goals for 2022 is to be on my phone less. My phone in particular, because I have a gnarly repetitive strain injury, and being on my phone exacerbates that. So, and part of the reason I'm on my phone a lot is because I'm online a lot, and it's a comorbid vicious cycle. So I was thinking when I was doing this episode, I was like, why do I spend so much time online? And there's like a multitude of reasons. Like there is the overwhelming amount of content. There is the desire, and it's not even a desire anymore. It's a compulsion to know everything. Insert Bo Burnham, a little bit of everything all the time here, please, Jess.
Welcome to the internet. Have a look around. Anything that brain of yours can think of can be found. We've got mountains of content, some better, some worse. If none of it's of interest to you, you'd be the first.
Or, is it genuinely just the fear that if left to my own devices, I will think myself into oblivion? All of the above.
It's a serious thing. Like, I'm there with you. The bulk of the time that I spend online is not sort of wallowing in this, maybe in the same sort of like gulches that perhaps
the trenches, the internet gulches
frequent in. But for me, like, I'm constantly just, digging deep in hobby stuff or game stuff or whatever it is. It's not memes all the time, 24/7, but like, there is this, without a doubt, chemical dependence on, like scratching that itch. And it's something I'm aware of, but not completely proud of, for sure.
Well, the psychology and like dopamine rushes and whatever is a different episode, because when I was researching like what makes the web so compelling, I came across a phenomenon that I think we are all aware of, but didn't realize how prevalent it is or how important it is, and the fact that the law about it is kind of interesting. So today's episode is going to be about, also it's like the most awesome named thing, dark patterns.
Oh.
Yeah. Have either of you heard of that before?
I'm familiar with dark patterns. Sadly. I am familiar.
I'm not. It sounds cool, but I fear that it is not.
A dark pattern is a type of user interface that appears to have been carefully crafted to trick users into doing things that are not in their interest and is usually at their expense.
A dark pattern.
A dark pattern. So it's basically design that manipulates the end user. And manipulate, coerce, I think is probably fair to say. So when it comes to web design, that means in e-commerce, it's getting people to buy more. It's getting people to stick around longer on websites, sign up for things. Or, and this is obviously the rabbit hole that I fell down, signing away your privacy and your data. So yeah, the term was coined by a British UX designer called Harry Brignall. And shout out to Harry. He does a lot of very important work drawing light to this and making sure that it's talked about. He runs a website and a blog where he explains dark patterns, but also he catalogs the worst offenders. Yeah.
So let me just ask a question here real quick. Is this similar to like how casinos are designed, like, but just implementing them online?
Not too far off. We can go through because there is a number of different dark patterns, like types, and some of these are like, just friend spam, where the product asks you for your social media and social media permissions. Like
this also just seems like, capitalism or American capitalism 101 and, like how shitty the Ticketmaster buying experience is.
Ticketmaster is on here.
Okay,
Don't you worry about it. Fucking Ticketmaster's on here.
And just to reiterate, like, this is all stuff that I'm sure has existed offline for decades. Okay. I like this. All right.
So the example that I was reading, I believe it was in a Verge article or a Vox article. This kind of thing would happen when, do you remember like those late night, the Celine Dion, like, and I am your lady. It's like, imagine owning the world's greatest love songs, right? And it would be like, you could get one set of those CDs for $10, but then you'd get signed up and you would, it would be really hard to cancel. And that's the crucial part. Sign up is easy, canceling is hard. I remember my dad, we had AOL in the United Kingdom, we had America Online. And my dad trying to cancel that. I remember being a saga. To a lesser extent, I had a magazine series where the first magazine was £5 and gave you a teddy bear. And then the rest of the magazine would give you like, fabric patterns to make clothes for the teddy bear and scenes, like a little dollhouse. And it was like 15 quid an issue after it. And my mum bought a subscription and she was like, we're not fucking having that. Hell of a time canceling that too. So that's a dark pattern, not online. But when you talk about dark patterns online, so there's things like friend spam, which if you've ever signed up for something and they are like, oh, could we log into your social media? And then LinkedIn, for example, was part of was fined $13 million for this in 2015 because they would ask for those permissions and then go, what was it, like someone's invited you to a network or someone is on LinkedIn and wants you to join, and they would spam people's social media. So that's like an obvious one. Some of them just have really good names, like confirm shaming, which is one of my personal favorites. Have you ever tried to cancel something and it goes, oh, I guess you don't want the best deals. Here, like, no thanks, I know everything about gardening.
Yeah, oh, fuck you.
Yeah,
right?
No thanks, I don't want a 10% discount and free assets. No thanks, I don't want any deals. It's like,
I'm not into savings. Fuck you, website.
Continue without supporting us is the one that I hate the most.
Yeah, I want to not support you. This is like, you know what? turn it around and feel good about yourself for clicking on it. Assume that the CEO sees that message across his or her desk.
That's how I approach it anyway.
Yeah. Oh, Tumblr. I mean, the irony that this is a Tumblr devoted to confirm shaming, and it's
pretty
see
good.
what's like the app is perfect or sounds perfect. Wow, I don't wanna. No thanks, I'd rather pay full price for delicious tea.
I have a question about a possible dark pattern because I love this topic. It's not making me upset. So
Okay,
I just wanna
good.
put that out there.
Good.
Is a dark pattern this bullshit of like, hey Jeff, did you leave something in your cart? Did you?
Yeah.
Is it called cart shaming? What is it called?
Well, there is sneak into basket.
Nice.
There's trick question. Oh, trick questions is a bullshit one.
Sneak in a basket is them putting another item in your freaking cart?
This is now illegal. So when we were talking about Ticketmaster, or it's illegal in some places, Ticketmaster used to put a fucking Rolling Stone subscription in to your basket.
There's still places that have like a version of it that are okay, where it's like, oh, you've bought a vacuum cleaner, and it will. Amazon does it. It kind of slides in the 3-month guarantee or like the 3-year warranty, and then you have to be like,
Yeah,
no,
you have to like opt out. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of Amazon, forced continuity, when your free trial comes to an end without any fanfare. I was paying for Audible for like 6 months on my UK account, so I didn't see it. Very cool. But there's two others I wanted to talk about briefly. One of them is the Roach Motel. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Purchasing some types of tickets, they try to sneak a subscription to a magazine into your basket via a trick question.
Fucked up.
So like this, Ticketmaster and Live Nation what a Roach Motel is it's like, it's easy to get into a situation.
Yeah.
It's fucking difficult to get out of. So Roach Motel is like the perfect analogy for that. So the Roach Motel aspect of this is like they sneak it into your basket. It's a trick question. So they're already displaying two types of dark patterns there. Then the third type is that it's hard to get out of the Roach Motel because if you purchase a subscription, you have to download a form, print it out, fill it in with a pen, put it in an envelope with a stamp, and post it to them to get out. So that Roach Motel is like one of the big things that people are trying to crack down on. The other one is one of my favorites, which is privacy zuckering, which is named obviously as an homage to Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg.
Sweet baby Ray's.
I mean, famously, for many, many years, I don't know, I don't have a Facebook account anymore, but just navigating the privacy settings in Facebook seemed so deliberately confusing.
They are going to come up again in a bit. But yeah, so I mean, Zuckering is publicly revealing more information about yourself than you ever intended to. Facebook used to have a reputation for making it difficult for users to control privacy settings, and so they've changed that over time. However, it's more of a hidden industry because the data brokerage industry, which we will get onto, is quite terrifying. And the amount of data that people have on us is quite something. So anyway, Harry keeps this website. He also has a Hall of Shame that he collates on his Twitter account, which is @DarkPatterns. The New York Times is getting a bit of shit at the moment because it's done the secret subscription renewal thing for a lot of people. So that's some good examples. One of the really interesting things, because Harry did a Verge article in 2013 about dark patterns. One of the really interesting things that came up about it is the fact that a dark pattern is essentially what happens when a designer goes to the dark side. Like there's this well-known and well-renowned list of like usability heuristics, like guidelines for design, especially interface design from like the mid-90s. And it's basically the example that's used in this Verge article is when Apple changed some of their privacy settings in like iOS 6 or something. Mm-hmm. And it's basically taking those principles for good design and going bad. So it's legit designers going to the dark side, which I really enjoy.
It's like that bit in Ocarina of Time where you run past the tree and you're like, everything's fine. and then you look back and Dark Link is standing there looking at you. He's like, "Oh, fuck your shit up." That's what this is.
Yeah. There comes a point in everyone's life when they decide if their video game is going to use NFTs or
not. Don't. We haven't mentioned NFTs in this yet.
No fucking
I'm not mentioning it. No, there's no NFTs in this.
No fucking time.
So studies are being done, and one of the reasons why it's kind of terrifying. You don't need sound for this. A study was recently done on mobile applications. And so we don't have to watch this whole thing. This is just like a kind of very, very quick run-in. But it's like, this is why it's so important, right? These people did the study. They recorded 10 minutes of 240 of trending apps and counted the amount of dark patterns that they saw. 95% of those apps, of the 240 trending apps in April 2020, had one or more dark patterns. However, that's not even the worst of it. Can people spot them? How many out of 589 users, which is moderate for like a study? How many people do you think could spot these?
I reckon maybe like 50.
I think
probably less than that.
It's and before we even find out the answer, it's also because no one's trained for this, right?
That's why we're doing this episode.
Right, and also, for sure, every episode's a PSA, absolutely. Also, the internet is inherently evolved into this.
Yes.
Like, it is from almost its inception. It felt like it was designed to sort of like fool people, or at least get them to do something they didn't want to do.
Well, yeah, the changes that are implemented to trick people into falling into these traps aren't noticeable. It's the lobster in the pot approach to thing. The heat is slowly turned up, so you don't really notice it happening around you. You think this is just how the internet works. Yeah.
Exactly. And you get to these stopgaps where you're like, well, if I don't click this thing, I can't do the thing.
I'm gonna lose this opportunity.
Yeah.
So if I don't hit OK on this TOS, like I can't access the thing. I feel like that's a lot of the cookie situation lately when you go to a new site.
Yeah.
So how many out of 589?
50.
I think less. I think like 25.
So they watched 30 seconds of the video.
Mm-hmm.
Asked if they found any malicious designs. 55% did not spot any. 20% were unsure.
I was right.
That was better than I thought, actually.
So, well, no, because it's still like 30%.
I said a number that was close to 50.
You said 50, but you didn't.
Percent.
I mean, you didn't give a unit, but I'll allow it.
Well, it's a dark pattern, you know?
So why is it bad? I think it's a pretty obvious answer, but like some are just fucking annoying. And I'm going to use this as an example because I was trying to find, this could be why my screen time is 24 hours because I'm on the Telegraph or the Times. I couldn't remember which outlet it was. It's a British newspaper, but basically what happens is you click on it and the article gets cut with what looks like a paywall, except it's not a paywall. And it just says like, "Oh, I'll support journalism another time." And I couldn't find which one it was. However, I thought it might have been the Telegraph.
The Times.
But then I just found that the Telegraph website is just fucking annoying. So here, start your free 1-month trial to unlock this article. I haven't even clicked on an article. I am on your homepage, and I can't get out
that is
of this.
basically the equivalent of you walking towards a store and someone saying, buy something now. And you're like, well, I don't know what's inside the store. I don't know what you sell. And they're like, no. Time to pay up.
And clearly, I've been fucking furniture shopping recently.
You're literally window shopping this website.
Yeah, except I mean, I just want to know if Djokovic has been booted out of Australia or not. And he's not it's not even here and I can't tell.
I mean, so I know a lot of newspapers do this now. Like that is sort of like the going trend.
The worst part is when they're like, we need you to support journalism. And then they're like, we also have a gun to your head.
So this as well, like you've read 20 articles in the last year. I mean, I guess fine.
I mean, that you know, I mean, look, like, I don't know. I guess like Wikipedia has that very aggressive donation ask a couple times a year, right?
But like, I'm not being blocked off here. You know, I'm not being blocked off from the content here. I am not. It is okay. Great, big article about Tilda Swinton. I didn't anticipate, but it's like, you know, this is okay, and I can turn the article count off. I can opt out. Very like easy to do. So the Guardian's
sure.
Yeah, the Guardian is actually a bad example, I would say, of dark patterns. Like, it's doing pretty well here. But some websites just, you know, there are instances where you can click on an ad, especially actually, Tam, if you think about the mobile games from the mobile game episode you did, I play, one of my favorite games is Picross. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Depends on where you come from. Yep. I
have an app where I have done a depressing number of them, but if I am connected to the internet, I will get an ad, and it's one of those things where it plays like, you know, grandma getting arrested, that video, and then the X is either just like barely can see it, or it has an effective hitbox that's so small that I will accidentally click on the fucking ad instead of just trying to get out of it, which is a dark pattern.
We all know where this strategy originated. We all know.
Pinball.
In the 90s. No. Come on. Pinball.
Hockey.
Pinball is pure.
Pinball's an innocent, pure
mechanical
endeavor.
keyboards. Another thing that Jeff loves.
Although pinball.
Jeff's child.
Why are you saying it like that?
You didn't
Pinball.
You didn't know the accent, the emphasis is on the second syllable? Pinball? You didn't know that? No. All of this, first off, pinball has its own problems because it's basically like designed to have you feed money into a thing forever. But no. Look, who among us hasn't dabbled in dark places on the internet in their youth, right? Not necessarily like
in their youth
world, but maybe in like the fucked up, hey, I don't want to pay for the software. How can I get
Oh
this
my
software
god,
for free?
I thought you were fucking going down like we've all been on 4chan, and I was like, I've been on rotten.com.
I was about to say, I've bought loads of stuff from the Silk Road. It's fine.
No. Not as nefarious. But like, you know, there's a point where you're like, hey, I'm 16 on the internet. I would like to use this expensive software. I don't know any better. I'm an idiot. And to get that, the hoops you have to jump through on these websites, they're basically the you know, source, the spawn point of dark patterns, where it's like, you're right, the hitbox it's a deceiving X. The X moves, things happen. It's like, this is where it all came from. And we've just sort of like normalized it.
Supernova's got a lot to answer for.
Rapid share.
Right?
Yeah.
And what was it? Mega upload was there.
Mega upload.
Fucking hell, mega upload. Oh, if I used it, you know, this is all things that I have heard on the grapevine, just because I've been online for so long. But when you're trying to watch the Lost finale and you can only watch things in 72-minute chunks, then that's going to be a problem.
And I've made it clear in the past before that I've never done anything illegal. So
yeah, me neither.
Yes, we all know that. Cam, thank you again for clarifying.
So, yes, dark patterns can be annoying. However, can also be quite dangerous because you can accidentally sign up for things or sign away things that you don't mean to, because the real issue comes with your data privacy, which is a mess when it comes to regulation, because there is no overall federal law in the United States that governs data privacy. It is state by state. So there's like one state, I think it's Maine, or I want to say Maine, it begins with an M, where it's like it's really difficult to get personal data from users. Like, you have to explicitly say yes to a lot of things. So by state, one of the places where it's actually, you know, top of people's minds and being thought of a lot is California. Last year, the California Consumer Privacy Act, which is one of the roughest not roughest, but like one of the toughest, same word, but different consonant at the beginning, in the country, was updated, banning the use of dark patterns to stop people from opting out of the sale of their personal data. So Tam, do you want to read this quote from Attorney General Becerra.
I'd love to. California is at the cutting edge of online privacy protection, and this newest approval by OAL clears even more hurdles in empowering consumers to exercise their rights under the California Consumer Privacy Act. These protections ensure that consumers will not be confused or misled when seeking to exercise their data privacy rights. The regulations include an eye-catching privacy option icon that guides consumers to where they can opt out of the sale of their personal information. Vote for me for president.
Yeah, I mean, but the red flag that pops up is like, how easy is it to opt out? Like, just because you offer it, right? Like, is it transparent?
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about some places that it isn't transparent because Facebook has had one hell of a doozy recently. So the thing here to take it out in mind is like, it doesn't ban all of the dark patterns. Like, dark patterns as a whole have not been banned, but it's the ones surrounding whether or not you understand your information is being sold and how to stop that from happening. And that is important because of algorithms and extremism, because all roads on the internet lead to extremism. So this is a great Vox article. I thoroughly recommend everyone having a read. Why you should care about data privacy, even if you have nothing to hide.
Oh,
everyone's got something to hide.
Everyone's got something to hide.
Everyone has stuff they should hide. Not necessarily. You should keep some. Yeah.
Cam, here's the question you have to ask someone, because I get this shit all the time from some idiot people I know, and I go, "Hey, idiot friend, you got nothing to hide? What if I don't know, I was able to share your search history with everyone you personally know and care for. Yeah. Well, now do you have something to hide? Well, I guess you're right.
What if I scraped all your text messages? I mean, like, I'm not reading them. I'm just like surface skimming off the top and picking out some keywords. That's what I'm doing. That's fine. How do you feel about that? Huh? You like that shit?
Not so good. Not so good, huh?
Here you can see that I tried to access an article on the New York Times, and I have a login to the New York Times, and it's just like not.
Wait, are we about to go down the motherfucking rabbit hole of from what I believe to be well researched by my former employer, CNET.com, is that your phone is not.
So yes,
listening.
I'm not going to go down that particular rabbit hole, but I think everyone should read this Vox article about data privacy because it is a very enlightening read. But the reason it's important to know about data privacy is because data is being collected about you all the fucking time. I have an Amazon Alexa, and that's listening all the time. Whatever I buy online, my credit card, the company, they have information about my buying habits. My phone tracks health data. It can tell how long you sleep for. Everything that I watch, things that I interact with, all of this information is being collected all of the time. And it's similar for you guys. And, earlier when we were on that other website, I was like, I've been looking for mid-century modern furniture. And that's why I got served an ad for All Modern, despite the fact that I haven't been on All Modern, because I've just been going through I guess Wayfair and All Modern are the same company. But anyway, you see, it's basically, yes, there was the big conversation for a long time about I was talking about cat food and then I got served ads for cat food. It's like, no, your phone isn't listening to you in that way. It is instead focusing on everything you are searching for and doing and reading. And it is built a profile.
You're not just,
and then,
and not just you. Like people you interact
the people
with
around you,
and totally geographically, connect,
same networks.
So if you go to your friend's house and your friend suddenly buys a lot of cat food, and then you seem to be at your friend's house a lot, the algorithm will gonna suggest cat food to this person, see what happens.
Yeah.
One terrifying thing that iOS does now, I saw it on TikTok, and you can go through, is like iOS keeps a running log of where you go, and it logs them as significant places, and you can go in through your phone and see. The reason I saw this is because it's being used on TikTok to like out cheaters.
Yeah.
Which, Joey Greco,
Go on.
I don't think he's dead, but I don't know if Cheaters is still on. He got stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when Joey Greco got stabbed? Anyway, so you, like, it logs places you go. So if it logs places like fucking Trader Joe's, or, I went to MoMA in San Francisco last week, and then I started getting a bunch of MoMA adverts.
Yeah. You're listening... Right, with your ear or microphone is the most inefficient way to collect data on something.
I mean, first of all, there's fucking huge Succession energy of we're here for you, we hear you, but it's no. So like everything is collecting data about you, and that data is used to create a profile, which then a very sophisticated AI that no one knows how it works, and that's the fucking thing of it. That AI tailors what you get served in terms of adverts, in terms of content. And funnily enough, algorithms go from naught to extremist content very, very quickly. So companies are dealing in like data brokerage all the fucking time. Like it is this industry that it's like, we don't know anything about really on the surface, as in like us lay people, but it's a very sophisticated industry. And it's supposed to be like, decentralized. It's supposed to be like you can't identify a person. However, depending on what privacy information from which services you're being sold, you could theoretically sometimes put stuff together. There are also websites that have just, remember Ashley Madison or whatever it was called?
Oh, yeah.
No, I never used it.
Yeah, I mean, I never used it.
I never used it.
Exactly what it was used for, and I know what happened.
But like, or an example that's relevant to us, the fucking ESA. Like just doxed everyone in the games industry, right? So your personal information is out there is what I'm saying. And companies tailor algorithms. And so what makes an algorithm better? More data. So there is a huge industry where they will buy all your data. And if you have signed it away because of a dark pattern that you are unfamiliar with, it's dangerous. So legislation time. I've probably done a terrible job explaining that, but otherwise,
sense.
No.
The internet is a hellscape, and more and more I wonder if I would take the red pill or the blue pill.
Well, I mean, Jesus.
Both of those situations are bad in that one. But
it's like, but like our equivalent would be like take the red pill and just fully immerse myself in the internet. And become the gremlin that I've always been destined to be, or take the blue pill and just log off.
Yeah, but then when you take the blue pill, you end up in like stinky, weird Zion world where everyone's sweaty and like fucking.
Yeah, I mean, you want the steak.
Yeah.
Right?
Cypher was right. Yeah. Is all we're saying.
Yeah, I mean,
wait, hang on. I thought red pill was like waking up in the Matrix.
Yeah,
in
red
like
pill
bald head.
You wake up in bald head mode. Yeah.
I thought blue pill was just like staying in your virtual life.
Who knows anymore? I don't know anymore. I think that's right.
Yeah. Actually, there's probably no way to know. There's probably no
blue pill is ignorance because incels have co-opted red pill now. Anyway, that's another talk. That's another fucking topic.
Wow. Oh my god.
Next week we're talking about
red pill, blue pill.
No.
Anyway. Legislation is slow to catch up with how quickly the internet moves. We have gone over that on the show a few times. However, the long arm, the long mouse of the law is trying to catch up to dark patterns. And the reason they've kind of been spurred on mostly is because of data protection stuff, as well as like the shady shit of putting stuff in baskets when you, like sneaking things into baskets and stuff when you're buying things online. So in 2019, these two senators tried, what are their names? Deb Fischer and Mark Warner tried to put a bill through Congress, and it had a great name. Deceptive Experiences to Online Users Reduction Act, the DETOR.
That's great.
Okay.
That's good.
Which is
well done.
That's
I wonder
good.
who does that. I wonder whose job it is to like turn that into a thing.
Yeah. I bet there was like 5-hour
I'd
planning
love to
meetings
do
about
that.
that.
I would love that as a job.
It would ban platforms from designing, modifying, or manipulating a user interface in a way that impairs users from making educated decisions before consenting and giving companies access to their personal data. But it would only affect platforms with over 100 million monthly active users.
What?
Which is this is a roundabout way of deliberately coming for Facebook, Twitter, and Google. And fucking TikTok.
I just don't understand the brain dead thinking there. Like, it's such an ass backwards thinking. Like, do it. Why can't you just do it for everyone?
Well, funnily enough, this one didn't even go to vote.
Yeah, of course, because we can't have anything good.
No, but Warner, Senate.gov, they did. I don't know if you can hear that. That's like a big truck outside. But last year, they reintroduced it to ban manipulative dark patterns, and they are from the Senator of Virginia. And I don't know if they made any changes to it. Oh, here we go. Those with over 100 million monthly active users. But
So, what the fuck?
It's too for everyone.
so prohibits user design intended to create compulsive usage among children under the age of 13, and also directs the FTC to be in charge.
That's a point of failure. The FTC is top 10 shitest organizations in existence. As we've discovered in previous episodes, they have no clue what's going on.
Well, in 2014, they were asked to investigate Facebook's use of dark patterns in an experiment involving 700,000 users designed to study the emotional impact of manipulating information on their news feeds. And if you keep on top of like stuff from Facebook and Instagram recently, there was that pretty damning deck that went around a few weeks ago about the harm that their algorithm has been having on young people.
Conducted this 8 years ago.
And it's
Asked us
just
to do it 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And this is why nothing will ever get done, because you have people who are out of touch with the thing they are attempting to wrangle. It's going to be this cat and mouse game. It's always been this cat and mouse game. This I'm sorry, but it's when you wallow in the sort of like, you know, the politics of it all, and the sort of like stagnancy and the glacial pace of this sort of like legislation that is just so depressing.
Yeah. Well, last year the FTC did put out a statement of intent to crack down on dark patterns. They issued a new enforcement policy against companies who use them. Basically, that just says you need to provide a clear sign-up process and easy, simple and clean cancellation to the consumer.
When you walk away.
You don't hear me say, please let me cancel. Let me cancel. Marketers should provide cancellation mechanisms that are at least as easy to use as the method the consumer used to buy the product or service in the first place. So going back to this Guardian thing. Yeah. Good.
Cool.
That's
Well
easy. Opt me out.
Good job, Guardian.
Good job, Guardian. So, you know, the statement of intent is there. Whether that is being carried out remains to be seen. In the UK, I don't know, we must still have it. I know we're not part of Europe anymore, but we have had GDPR, which is the General Data Protection Regulation. And this is just an interesting aside. Tam, do you remember your GDPR training?
Yes, I do, because I had to. It was reinforced. Most people, they'll have the GDPR training and then move on. But because of my role as editor of the UK editor and now managing editor of GameSpot, I had to regularly filter the requests and certain opportunities through the GDPR filter. So I remember the parts of it that I need to know.
So it's all about the collection of data, personal data, it informs companies how they can collect data, what they can and can't do with the data. It affects how they store it. ensuring they have informed consent from the people whose data it is, and users have the right to know what data is being held, find out how it's being handled, refuse processing, ask for corrections, and also, most importantly, request deletion.
Yeah, and this.
However,
and if you're wondering how I applied that, I basically stopped doing giveaways and competitions in the UK because of this. I was like, this is too much of an issue, so we're just not going to do this stuff anymore. So that's how I was like, just burn it all to the ground. Let's get out of it.
Yeah.
I'm doing my part, is what I'm saying.
I'm playing my part. So when it comes to, you think that Europe, data protection is very, very strong or whatever, due to the way that GDPR is actually laid out, it's a kind of trickier issue. So complaints about dark patterns have been, a lot of complaints about dark patterns have been raised over the years. In particular, there's a committee in Norway and to kind of complain. However, France as well has complained, in Germany. And you would think that like the French commissions or the Norwegian or German could just handle it by themselves. They can't, because of the way GDPR is laid out. Complaints are supposed to be handled by the regulator in the country where the company has its EU HQ, which for big tech is mostly Ireland, which is the worst bottleneck for enforcing EU data privacy law, apparently. This one's quite something. 98% of 164 significant complaints about privacy abuses are still unresolved by this regulator, at least according to a civil rights group who studied this in September of last year. Ireland, not doing their part. Apparently, they are very underfunded and overworked, and they are just paralyzed. Oh yeah, GDPR enforcement against big tech is paralyzed by Ireland's failure to deliver draft decisions on cross-border cases. So the EU has to wait for Irish draft decisions before they are able to take their own action. So, not great for Ireland there.
No.
Or, everyone complaining. Germany, France, and Spain are all complaining. And I don't know how...
France are always complaining, though.
Well, France, though...
Shut up, France.
No. France are getting shit done because... this year, and when I say they just did this, I mean they did this as we're recording Friday the 7th. They did this literally yesterday. So,
oh wow,
thanks, friends. They just fined collectively Google, YouTube, and Facebook in particular, collectively $240 million. I think Facebook got hit with 60 odd million, and the rest went to Google to be split between that and YouTube. By France's data protection watchdog, CNIL. For violating the French Data Protection Act. And from what I understand, and like I said, didn't dig into this too much, they basically pulled a really old law out and said, no, we're going to deal with it because of this technicality. So technically correct, the best kind of correct. And the reason that they did it is because it's a fucking dark pattern, and it's actually quite funny. For Facebook to refuse cookies on Facebook's... I'll take that back. On all of their websites, to refuse cookies, it is usually like you have to click several times. It's on different pages, except when you're coming to accept cookies, it is, one click. In Facebook's case, which is the kicker, the button to refuse cookies is in a shit position on the second window and is titled accept cookies. That's the button to refuse cookies.
What?
That should be illegal.
Harry did retweet something about this.
I gotta follow Harry.
Harry, yeah, here we go. Facebook makes users click a button that says accept cookies displayed in the second window. So obviously not great.
That's unbelievable.
So they've been fined that huge amount, and they've been given 3 months to sort their shit out, or they will be fined an additional 100,000 euros per day. So good for France. But basically this all boils down to dark patterns, and that's why I wanted to do this episode, because obviously we could have gone into extremism, algorithms, data privacy and protection, a whole lot more. But it's interesting that it's like, this is just a thing that I was interested in because it's a psychological reasoning for keeping people engaged on a website and within an ecosystem. But obviously, like on the internet, all roads lead to extremism. So it's very it's very interesting to see how that can happen. And so the big takeaway that I wanted from this episode is like, we're waiting for the law to catch up here to regulate a lot of this stuff. So definitely go check out Harry's website, dogpatterns.org. He said this before as well. If you know what you're looking for, you can avoid falling into the traps that they want you to. And in that case, you can keep your data as safe as you can in these strange and unusual times.
And I think amongst all this, we can all agree that this was all a lot to take in, but easily the most distressing part of this was the phrase long mouse of the law, which is just that, like, someone needs to go to jail for that, and we all know who it is. Anyway.
Please don't.
Jeff, how you feeling? Are you okay? You good there?
Yeah, like, no, there's certain things that make me upset that I didn't know about. I knew about all this stuff. Yeah. So I feel passionate about it, and I'm glad we could provide a service for our audience. Yeah. So, once again, just like every other episode of the Very Online Show, the takeaway is fucking watch your back.
Yeah.
Watch your back. Jess, could we please get the Watch Your Back song from the first Fast and Furious movie? I would really appreciate it.
Watch your back.
Also, earlier when Lucy and I did the Simple and Clean thing, that was a reference to a Kingdom Hearts song. I know Jeff kind of laughed along, but it was that laugh which was like,
didn't get it,
which was like, haha, please don't,
haha, you're my friends, I will laugh with you.
So if we could get a bit of that, not there, just put it in here.
Maybe a Sweet Baby Raise for good measure.
Let's stop.
Just to tick all the boxes.
Let's stop giving Jess extra work to do.
Sweet Baby Raise.
Thank you for watching another episode of the Very Online Show. It's good to be back because now we can scare you into looking after yourself on the internet. Be safe out there. Remember, buy a Giant Bomb subscription while you're here. Do it. It's cool. There are no dark... Wait, I'm not sure I can say that.
I
do. Every website has a dark pattern.
None of us are responsible for designing websites or implementing any of that. So if you find a dark pattern, go through the process. This is itself now a dark pattern. Go through the Giant Bomb subscription process and subscribe. And then after you've done that, tell us about the dark pattern you might have identified in there.
Totally. Tell Harry.
Tell Harry about it. So,
please don't tell Harry.
Lucy, where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter at Lucy James Games.
Jeff, where you at?
I'm at Jeff Bacalar. See you there.
I'm at Tomor H, and we'll see you in the next episode. Shut up, France.
Fucking watch your back.